the unthinkable had happened, and Bergen Belsen was liberated. There was an outcry and need by refugees with disabilities, inabilities, and weaknesses to find a place in which an ex-prisoner could call home and find the solace and strength needed to put the memories of the past behind him and progress into a new and brighter tomorrow. A place of this nature would have to be highly democratic and extremely aware of the trials and tribulations that were faced by these brave liberation fighters. It is then that the idea of the displaced persons camp was born. Bergen Belsen Displaced Persons Camp was a displaced persons camp for the refugees after World War II in Lower Saxony in northwestern Germany, southwest of the town of Bergen near Celle. It was established by British forces near the Bergen Belsen concentration camp. The site used abandoned German Army panzer barracks for housing facilities, and after November 1945, Jewish refugees were given their own section. The camp was the largest DP camp in Germany, with 11,000 residents in 1946, and the only exclusively Jewish faculty in the British sector. The camp included a hospital, which after a time was renamed the Glyn Hughes Hospital. In 1946, the DP camp housed over 11,000 Jews, though Bergen Belsen was the only all-Jewish camp in the British zone of Germany. The camp's survivors struggled with the British before securing an exclusively Jewish community. For their part, the refugees organized a vibrant community within the camp. Schools were established within months of the liberation, and at one point there were 20 weddings every day in the camp. The DPs founded an elementary school as early as July 1945, and by 1948, 340 pupils attended the school. A high school, which was staffed partly by soldiers from the Jewish Brigade, was established in December 1945. The DPs also provided education for the children of Bergen Belsen. There was a kindergarten, an orphanage, and a yeshiva. The Organization for Rehabilitation Through Training, vocation training schools organized occupational education. By 1951, the camp was vacated, the majority of the refugees having immigrated to the State of Israel. This camp became a signal for hope, and it gave refugees the opportunity to take the first steps needed in their journey to attain complete liberation. The displaced persons camp worked with the burial system very close to that of a mass grave, but instead people were buried next to each other rather than on top of each other. This displaced persons camp consists of 2 cemeteries, one for the survivors of the Bergen Belsen concentration camp that had later died at the displaced camp after liberation, and another grave that consisted of kapos. Kapos are Jews that were considered traitors, Jews that had worked hand in hand with the Nazis. Currently, the DP camp is kept in exceptional condition, with the British Army using it as a base and home for their soldiers, whilst maintaining the historical value of the land. The British have done an exceptional job in preserving the artifacts of the DP camp, whilst also managing to upgrade and transform this area into an army retreat worthy of the presence of kings. But the daunting question remains unanswered. What will become of this DP camp? What will happen to it when the British Army shuts down its base? What is planned for 2014? Who will be responsible in preserving this German history? Who will ensure that it is here to see for generations to come? This question will remain unanswered, so let's take a moment to appreciate this rich artifact while it is still here, as its future is most uncertain. And as for another question, what will happen to the museum?